How are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. I want to jump on into a quick topic. And this right now is a great time to share this information that I got in my teachings and from my own journey through the channelings, having the near death experience, and all the understanding that I've come to. So, and then also learning the law of attraction, energy vibration. And so when we're looking at the current situation that we're at, the disputes that happen, that's all over Facebook, social media, we can't miss it. And so I came across it, popped up, and I was like, oh, well, that's a great topic to talk about. Where one was saying, I want the mediator to be more on my side against the other. And in realization, if you're really looking at it and understanding what that is saying, it's saying that I want you to be with me, not them, of course, but on my side is being against another, right? And so in that perception reality that he's projecting, he's saying, I want you on my side against the other. And in that, you cannot have peace. There's no peace when you're against another, when you're choosing one or on one side. And so from the understanding of that perspective, when you're choosing sides, you're not for anything. You're just for you're for one against the other, the opposite against one another. And so on that perspective, and they're showing that it's like a triangular aspect, because you can't be one without the other. On this side, in the realm that we're in, is duality. You can't have one without the other. And so you're either on one or the other if you're in duality. And when you're not in duality, you can then be neutral, right? From that perspective, when you're being neutral, you're not choosing a side, you're not against anything. But it's when you're on a side that you're choosing, that you're against something that you're not choosing, if that makes sense. When we're on the other side, near-death experience, not this side of reality, there's only oneness. There's only one of everything. There's no duality on that side. From that existence, you're only it. You just are, right? And so there's no choosing against, fighting against, war, any of those things. But in this reality, there is. And what we choose, we're also choosing the opposite or being against the opposite. Because there's duality. Both are, when one is created, the other is created. You cannot create one without the other. And both of them become based on what we're choosing. And so even in the resistance of not choosing it, we're still choosing it because we're choosing in resistance, which brings it about more. And so it's just a recreation dynamic of that situation that will replay out until we no longer choose it and we let go of the resistance by choosing one or the other, if that makes sense. And many teachers have taught that. For instance, the middle way, right? Buddha, Muhammad, Gandhi, Muhammad Gandhi, a lot of them have taught that, right? And so don't choose, be in the middle. And so then you're lessening and loosening and letting go of the situation, right? And you're just allowing source of divine to come in and to make the decision and lead the way. And so from that perspective, just allow that to settle in and kind of think about that when you're choosing next time, what side that you're choosing and what you're choosing to be in resistance of, which you're just going to recreate and add to it. And a lot of us do that. We're in this fight against this, and this, but in reality, we're actually helping that to recreate more of it. And that's just the dynamic of it is in this world, this realm, and the duality of it. And that makes sense. And if you don't know about energy, understanding who we truly are, what realm that we live in, and the dynamics of creation, the universe, manifestation, take a dive into that and kind of look and check that out and learn about yourself and what you're doing in your creation, and helping to manifest more better things from that understanding in that way when you're choosing something, because you're not just choosing one, you're choosing the other, which is in resistance. And then the energy of what you're putting to it, you're actually creating that more, right? Because you can choose one, but if you're in resistance and hate the other, you may be adding more energy to that versus creating the opposite. of what we want. So, the dynamics of being in this realm is totally different than understanding than what we have. And from that perspective, you want to take a look at it and understand it and do some self works. You know, learn about energy, vibration, manifestation, the law of attraction. Learn about these things and apply it to your life in all situations, because it does. It governs the laws of this universe, and is nothing we can do to get out of it unless we decide to go back to home, the other side, right? And so, from that manifesting understanding, hopefully you can put that to use. So, when we're wanting that person, because that person was saying, I want you to be more on my side than the other side, he's not really wanting peace. He's wanting war. Although he doesn't speak it, that's what that is saying. That's an energy of wanting war because he wants him to be on his other side. And he's just not happy with somebody who's being a mediator, somebody who's there to help make peace and bring about peace. He's wanting it to be more in control for him and what we can do for him. Whereas where he's in a situation where he would need to have us to help him in the other way, right? If that makes sense. So understanding the dynamics of energy and vibration can help, bring clarity, not just to the situations in our lives on a macro level of what's going on in the world, but in our own individual lives and what we're choosing, what we're doing, and what we're participating in. And that's why I don't really participate in certain things like religion, belief systems, um, governments, voting, politics. These are things that I've stayed away from, and also choosing sides. It's something I haven't done pretty much my whole life, only because it's something that I knew and understood that when you are choosing it, you're choosing also the opposite because you're creating it from that perspective, which is in resistance to itself, right? It's just the dynamics of our world, our existence here. And when that plays out, we can see it because it's manifesting, right? And it's things that we don't want, along with things that we do want, right? And so, from that understanding, apply it to your life. And you can see it, just, pay attention to things that's showing up in your life, right? It's not that hard to understand. It's pretty easy when you kind of look at it and understand and study the law of attraction, things like that, cycles, karma, the karmic overlay, self-healing, taking a deep dive in on energy, vibration. And when you start looking at these things, you can kind of see it, even if you haven't had a near-death experience and understand what's on the other side compared to here. For me, it gives a big reference, what is over there. Okay, that is love, truth, peace, harmony. From here, it gives me a big reference point, for life, where others may not have it. And so I'm not saying one is right or the other. It's the dynamics. It's a great teaching point with a situation that's arising. And so regardless of what they choose and pick, they're on their own with that. So hopefully they go in the right direction and understanding so we can have peace. And with that understanding, I think the one who's the mediator, has the right idea. And though, I'm not choosing, I feel like he has more of an understanding that when you're choosing one or wanting to be more on the other, and you can't just be, and you're just creating, because when you're choosing one, you want me to be on my side, not his side, instead of letting one to be just in the middle way, right? It's an example. It's a great example for this teaching to be able to share it on my channel. And then others, if you're tuning into this, it's just a great way to bring forth that information and knowledge that's, I've understood and been taught through spirit and my journey to the other side, and then this side, having that understanding, because it can be complex if we don't really know it and we don't understand what we're doing. It's what they call on the other side ignorance, which is not stupid or dumb, but it's just the lack of knowing of our existence and how we are in the world and how it all plays out and what we're being a part and play in, because everything that we do affects anything and all other things in relation to it, right? And so it's the dynamics that play out in our reality here. that's important to understand and know. And that's part of it. When we're choosing one, we're also choosing the other, even though we may not be aware of it or know of it. And whatever energy we put to it is what we put to it. We're either putting love or the hatred, the absence of love, which is the lack of love, right? But we term it as hate because we cannot feel love. We're absence and we're numb of love because there is none that we're feeling or connected to. And so we put, and the further away we get to the point where, we do things that are not connected to love, which is why there's laws in place. But law of attraction, energy, vibration do govern this world, and because we live in it. I mean, just if you look into the sky, you can see energy just everywhere. I mean, it's just encapsulated. We cannot get away from it because we're here. We're even energy vibrational beings, right? Related to that, we're connected on that level from a very dense level, which is our physical body, to a non-dense level, which is energy and vibration. Starting like from our chakras, our energy vibrations, things like that, that flow through us into the physical form, which has been condensed over time because of the situations that we've done. We've created this. And so in that, without going too much down that pathway, and just bringing it back to, just the topic at hand and the situation that's arising, with the whole outburst that we've all witnessed and experienced, and there is no choosing. There should be no choosing sides. It should just be an agreement to both, if they really both want peace and to stop hurting each other and to be kind and love and save their countries or whatever it is that they call it, their country or their governments. Again, I don't get into politics, so I don't really get whatever that is that they want to term it. If they really want that, there is no picking sides, right? It's just being and stop, cease fire immediately, and that's all that there is to it. There's nothing else other than that. It's stopping. It's not doing, right? It's not picking sides. It's not being on a side, and it's just letting it go. And if you really want peace, and that is how it works, you can't say I want peace and then want somebody to be on your side in the argument, or because you're still arguing, if that makes sense. You're still in the fight. You're in the fight against others, right? And you're also against yourself because we're all connected, right? And so you're only fighting yourself with hatred, right? And if we're all connected, we all come from the same place, the other side, right? And so having this understanding awareness, bring that light into your life and have that expansion, and enlightenment unfold, right? And so it's just taking a look at these things and having the right understanding of what that really is and what it really means. Contemplate it, if he's saying this, then what does this really mean? We want to get into the habit of questioning, not questioning them, their actions or behaviors, but what does this really mean? What is going to be the effect of this if this happens, or what is this? And then we can start really seeing the truth of it, right? And then learning about ourselves on all different levels, right? How we manifest. What is this world? Where are we? Like, be inquisitive, listen, answer, question, and find out about yourself more than human form and version of yourself, right? Which we have an identity attachment to. Because once we're in there, the attachment and the identity, we don't really see or acknowledge anything outside of it. We only notice ourselves. And then that's what keeps us in suffering, right? We have to let go of the identity and ego of our constructs so we can step out of and see it from a different picture, right? So hopefully that helps, kind of where I'm going to end that at. And I hope you have a great journey, happy journeys. And if you want to book a session, I do coaching, life review sessions. We could take a look at your life and kind of unravel that if there's certain situations that you're not wanting in your life, and we can take a deep dive into that. Also channeling energy, vibration work, a lot of different things. So definitely reach out. All right, happy journeys. Thanks for tuning in.